Right, well, we'll give this a go, but I can tell my internet is being a bit pants at the moment, and I don't know why. So, thank goodness tonight's just chatting, eh? Because just chatting's probably all you can hear right now, and me moving roughly every 2 seconds, I'm estimating. So we'll see if it stabilises. At the moment, it's just red, yellow, orange, red, more orange, and just... Oh my gosh! Well, at least we got something new. I can barely hear myself, folks. I haven't got my headphones set up. Thanks for that, Blowpin. I wasn't expecting that. And that's the first time, I think ever on stream, that's the first time we've ever had the resubscriber alerts come up. Hopefully it did come up. Blowpin, tell me how the stream's going at the moment, because from my end, diagnostics-wise, it says it's not going very well at all. I don't know if it's that my computer... I've turned off anything on my computer that could be downloading anything. But, nope, 0. Oh, there we are. 0 kilobits a second. Fantastic. Last time, though, what happened was it just came right by itself. So anyway, if you're just joining me, hello, welcome. This is normally the time I'd be trying out a new game. I was going to... some of you, if you're in the Discord, links down below on my About page. You might have seen a sneak preview of what I was going to do, but then I had a word with myself, because at the start of term, I'm doing a university course at the moment, so to catch you up, long story long, I'm doing a university course alongside work. It's a work-based university course, so full-time work, full-time uni, sort of. It's adapted around work, of course, otherwise you just melt. Blowpin saying, bit dodgy, but I can hear. Cheers. Yeah, I don't know. Like I say, in a sense, it is a good job it was a just chatting stream, because this would have been a terrible start, technology-wise, not people-wise. Hello, everybody. Welcome. You're more than welcome. Don't ever, if you hear me complaining, it's almost certainly about technology. Don't ever think that if you're just joining and going, oh, great. I've just dropped into this stream and all he's doing is complaining. That's Welsh do like a good moan, but that's not it. But yeah, university course I'm doing at the moment. It's getting to assignment deadline, open season. And I realised it collided head-on with my 6-month streamiversary. Woo! What a time to celebrate, eh? So that wasn't going to happen. So actually, I've been just sneaky. Well, it's not really sneaky. It is true that when I started streaming, if you have a look down below, you can see clips from when I actually very first started. Is that a sentence? When I started for the very first time on Twitch, I wasn't dedicated to Twitch. I was on Twitch, I was on Facebook Live, I was on... No, I mean... This wasn't gaming, this was like a behind-the-scenes stream on my radio show. I was on YouTube Live, I was on Periscope, I was maxing it out everywhere. My first dedicated Twitch stream was actually on the 14th of July. So I realised, even though I started on Twitch technically in May, I realised if I went for the 14th of July... Oh, Blowpin saying head in hands. Is that just because of the video, or is my audio breaking up now? Let me know. But yeah, or because of the 6-month streamiversary, that's probably what it was. So yeah, that was basically when I landed slap bang in the middle of when I've got 4 assignments due. So yeah, that wasn't going to happen. So actually, if I shift it forward so that my official Twitch birthday, you could argue, my official start on Twitch was the 14th of July, that works out a heck of a lot better, because that means 6 months, at least in round calendar terms. I haven't counted the exact days and gone by 30-day months or anything. I've just gone for the date. 14th of January happens to be a Thursday, so it was obviously meant to be, because Thursday's a day I normally stream anyway, apart from this week. I can't do this Thursday, and apart from next week, next Thursday, and apart from next Tuesday as well. So I thought, right, I'll pop in tonight. I'll give it at least half hour on just chatting. But I'm not going to play a game, because the game I was going to play was Bus Driver Simulator. Woo! In about 20 seconds time, when the video and audio catch up with the chat, I'll see a woo back probably. Yeah, I was going to do it, but then I had a word with myself and I said, yeah, but you've actually started to get some momentum going on one of the assignments, one of 4. Now there's 3 active assignments at the moment, but the way it works is there's 2 courseworks and 2 portfolio tasks, they're called. So portfolio tasks are some work plus an essay type of thing. It's only a short essay, on the grand scheme of things it's not too bad, but like many a scientific essay, whether it's physics or any other science or computer science indeed, which is what I'm doing now, effectively doing this BSc in Applied Software Engineering, you can't just write an essay. Anybody who's written essays will know this. You can't just sort of plonk your fingers on the keyboard and type. In some subjects you can, and in some subjects you can get away with it. And that's not meant to be a hierarchy. I just mean some of them are more literally literal. So you can. It's a fine line between saying it's waffle. I'm sure it's very academic and considered, but because of the form of it, and it's not limited to. Literal subjects as well, the PGCE, that's what I loved about that, the teacher training. The essays actually could be a lot more, yes, you had to put references in, but they could be a lot more conversational. I'm not talking about like putting hi in emoticons, I just mean emojis or whatever. I just mean you could, to a point, plonk your fingers down and write about an experience and get a few paragraphs out, and then maybe go back and put some sources in to balance some points out or whatever. It's depending on it depended on what type of essay for what module it was. But yeah, some modules were about how you'd applied certain things. So if you're talking about your own experience, well, you're the source, and so you're writing from your experience. So you can just go, well, this is what happened. You wouldn't say, well, this is what happened in the essay, but does that make some sort of sense? But yeah, in science subjects, and lots of others as well, but in science subjects, you can't just write an essay. It has to be, what does this sentence relate to? What are you trying to explain here? It's very procedural. So I think it'll be okay. But at the start of term, it was, well, there's an essay due, there's an assignment due tomorrow. I'm going to have to take tonight off. Now that there's 4 on the go, the more I do now, or even if I do nothing tonight, the more energy I claim back from not streaming, much as I'll miss it, is energy I'm not having to use to get myself through a weekend of all-nighters, which won't be nice, and I keep promising myself I won't do. I predict there'll be at least one all-nighter, probably the day before the essays are due, all of them, just tidying up, and then, I get to a point where it's like 2-3 in the morning and I'm doing stupid stuff, like moving words around, literally a single word around, and then I just have to tell myself to stop, it's good enough. That's very hard for me to do, just let it go, like the Frozen song. So yeah, Sunday next week, not this week, is probably going to be a bit of an all-nighter. But at least then, most of it will be out of the way. There's 2 exams to go as well, but the exams, again, you have to deal with those on the day. You don't see them before the day. You can do a bit of revision, sure, but... and I think one of the courseworks is due then. So one of the courseworks is due... Wednesday after next. Then the other coursework is due the Wednesday after that. The portfolio tasks are due on the 30th now. So, again, it's days away. Yeah, but I can't let my brain think that. The point is you've only got the evening because it's alongside work. Yeah, okay, if you were a full-time university student, you'd have lectures, but you might be able to get a bit of work done in between lectures. Sometimes I manage to do a bit at lunchtime, but actually for the past few months, I'd say even, no, that hasn't happened at work. You're working, so lunchtime's meant to be a break for lunch. So yeah, no, and it's winter and it's getting darker, and I'm going into hibernation already, so it's been a push. I've done well so far in the marks. That's one good thing, actually. I didn't tell you that. The exam I thought I'd flunked, I got 74%. So, I mean, that's a huge confidence boost, because if I can get 74% being thoroughly demotivated, it's not because the course isn't interesting at all. This is just a universal thing we're all going through at the moment if we're studying, or well, anything really, in life in general. But yeah, it's very, very hard to push ourselves to get going. We've all found it hard on the course and on any course anywhere. So, do you know what? Yeah, let's count that celebration, that resub explosion that just happened, confetti bomb, which you may have seen in a whopping half a frame a second, because the stream still hasn't stabilised. What is going on? What is going on? I'm not downloading anything. I've turned my phone off the Wi-Fi, and no one else is on the Wi-Fi at the moment. So what's going on? Bonkers, isn't it? Bloke been saying sounds intense. Yeah, it is. Particularly at this time of the course. So again, I always knew it was going to happen, and I'm sort of at peace with that. I read the odd post about people saying, I mentioned a post last week, was it? Or last stream, last Thursday. Somebody saying about how do you balance uni and work and streaming. The answer is uni comes first. There's no balance. It's literally pulling streaming off the weighing scales and it goes thunk like that. That's it. Now uni is at the top. So at these times of the term, because there's so many assignments all due all at the same time, it always happens. It's a universal constant of university life that there'll be times at which the world disappears to you, at least if you're doing it right. Not everyone does, I know. I'm not saying I've always done it right, far from it. But, as I say, having been a lecturer in the past as well, I'd be a hypocrite if I did silly things. So again, it's like that. This is fine. I haven't really got back into the assignment after doing work anyway, so this is fine. This is just a nice little break, something different. A break's as good as a rest. But I reckon I could give the assignment at least a good hour if I really go for it now. And then the shame of it is I'll be saying, right, I'm finishing early tonight, and then you won't see me for 2 weeks. But December the 1st in your diary, because December the 1st is going to be, I'm calling it epic comeback. I don't know if it will be an epic comeback, but yeah, that's the other thing. I thought if I do Bus Driver Simulator tonight and set up the steering wheel, I'm definitely not going to do the assignments. But also, why throw away such a great publicity stunt, if you like, for coming back? Because there are people excited, hint, there are people excited about seeing Bus Driving Simulator, so why not use that as my comeback party? And the assignments will all be behind me. Sure, I'll have a couple of exams, I'll need energy, I'll probably have to make sure I only do till 11:30 on those days, because common sense. But I'd be awake till then anyway, it's fine. So there won't be any sort of 1:30, 2 in the morning streams during those exams when I come back on the 1st of December. And will that be the last exam that week? I don't know, actually. I'm trying to think. It's possible that the 3rd of December will be the last exam. 3rd? 2nd of December will be the last exam, but I'm not sure. I think it's more likely to be the 9th, isn't it? But then, yeah, you never know. I might go completely wild. I might do 3 streams a week for a bit till the uni starts back. And Christmas, run up to Christmas, so we'll deck out the studio, get into the Christmas spirit. You can hear Stream Beats on in the background. We'll have the new Christmas Stream Beats playlist, perhaps, as well. Bloke been saying needs to be hyped up to its fullest. Yeah, absolutely. So, seriously, put in December the 1st in your diary, in your notifications on your phone. I will be back. I'm not going far. You never know, if I really need a chat, I might pop in for an impromptu just chatting stream, but without any pressure. That's the key thing. And I think that's the answer to how I've managed to balance it. It's just a case of not being gutted, not myself getting resentful that assignments are getting in the way of fun stuff. That's very old Jamie thinking. I'm supposedly better than that now. I'm not saying it doesn't come back every so often, that thinking, but yeah. It's not getting in the way. Streaming will be there after the assignments are done. It'll be fine. So anyway, that's my sort of introductory rant. What do you want to chat about? How are you all keeping? I hope you're all keeping well. What games do you want to see in the epic comeback? Forgot a bit of news actually. There is a bit of news. I put out a request, you may have seen it on Twitter, that I was on 94 followers on YouTube, again linked down below to my YouTube channel, and at 100 followers you can get a username. Now it used to be they used to give usernames to everybody, so you could be youtube.com/something, and it would be your name. And I've got an old account floating around that I don't use anymore that I really need to get around to deleting because I haven't used it in years. But annoyingly, back then you could pick any name you liked, and have youtube.com/that name. That changed a few years ago. I'm not sure exactly when, but now the rule is that you have to have at least 100 subscribers on YouTube. Now subscribers mean something different on YouTube. You don't have to pay to subscribe on YouTube. It's kind of like a like, I suppose. Kind of like a follow. The equivalent of a follow on Twitch. But yeah, you need 100. So I thought, well, I wasn't going to push for it before, but now I'm 6 away. I'll just give it a little bit of a nudge. And the last time I pushed for followers, I got about 3 or 4 extra followers. Not knocking it. That's absolutely brilliant. But I was on like 30 odd at the time, so it was nowhere near enough to get anywhere near 100. So I thought, okay, I'll just leave it grow by itself at the natural pace it wants to. But when I got to 94, I thought I'll give it a little bit of give the fire a little bit of a stoke again, expecting that maybe 6 people would come forward and follow me. And it's gone a bit mad, I'll be honest, because not only did those 6 people follow me in the time it took me to go to the loo and back, sorry, too much information, but literally that's how quick it was. Couldn't believe it. But even more than that, what am I at now? I'm having a look at my own channel. 123 subscribers. I only asked for 6, so that's incredible. Thank you. But it does mean I now officially have youtube.com/Jamie Nemeth. I suppose officially it's youtube.com/c/Jamie Nemeth, but both of them go to the same place. So youtube.com/Jamie Nemeth, twitch.tv/Jamie Nemeth. Not Facebook, because I'm on Facebook, but yeah, okay, I haven't got that. Instagram, I haven't got that either, because annoyingly there is a Jamie Nemeth who has set their account to private, doesn't post anything, has got no followers, and not following anybody, yet I still can't have that name. So that's a bit frustrating. It was almost a full house, but the Twitch and the YouTube matching were the main things. In fact, just having a YouTube you could say was the main thing, really, because, reading it, just go and visit my YouTube channel, youtube.com/U_C_M. No. And there's things you can do on the stream, which I've not bothered to do, that pop up with your social media every so often. You may have seen them on other people's streams. I thought, I'd love to do that. The only shame of it is I have to pretend I'm not on YouTube, because it would be like the coming up on my screen. It would be that long. My YouTube URL, and nobody would be able to type it anyway. So, Blow been saying proof of advertisement making all the difference. Yeah. Well, it's how you say it as well, you know. I said this with the Uncharted. I used to do the Uncharted as a feature on my radio show, and when I started it, I was just asking friends, can you send me tracks? It was an unsigned chart show. But unlike any other, there were other unsigned chart shows. So I thought, well, how can I make mine different rather than just being yet another unsigned chart show? Not that they're not brilliant. So I thought, well, I'll make it a literal chart that people have to vote for, and it's interactive, and it's also a short chart. So again, you're not reading out 40 names of people you've never heard of. I thought there was a chance that with five people in the chart every week, you might actually start going, oh, I've heard that name. Oh, hang on, I saw them on the TV the other day. Or, or I've seen their page pop up. Whereas when it's 40 people you've never heard of, what's the incentive? It's, I think, whilst there's lots of great ideas out there, it's like, they've got, there's a new folk chart out at the moment. The official charts company brought out a folk chart, and that's fantastic. And again, there's names on there that I know, so when I look at it, I'm not just bewildered by a list of names I don't know. A friend of mine runs a mixed chart as well, where it's not necessarily all unsigned. It's alternative artists as well, so there may be names in that list. There may be people who are actually well known, all mixed together. And I think that's the way to go, rather. And what you're proving by doing that is that these unsigned acts are as good as, if not better than, some of the chart acts and some of the famous ones. And again, that was an example of advertising really helping things, because when I started off, I was begging for tracks from friends and saying, please send me stuff, I'm short this week. Once I'd done it for a year, I sent out an email saying the Unchart is established, it's been running for a year, we featured over 500 acts for blah, 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 whatever, however many it had been, made that number up. Suddenly I was inundated and I had a backlog of 1.5 years of music, because I was only playing one new entry per week. So yeah, the difference between then getting like 3 or 4 people to follow me, and now where I asked for 6 and I got, I got 29 29 new people who've never seen my YouTube channel before, presumably, because if they'd seen it, then, well, I'm not saying they would have necessarily subscribed, but they can't have known about it, because I don't think they've liked any videos before today. And suddenly, that's what I mean, if it was people that just hadn't subscribed that had watched, I'd have expected the subscribers to go up but the views to stay fairly constant. That's not what's happened. I've had new subscribers and the views have gone like this on my YouTube videos. So I suspect that these are all new people. So again, you never know who's listening, you never know who's watching, and a lot of people are afraid of posting too much. I try not to post too much about things, because you end up saturating things. People get fed up of seeing the same things over and over again. But you never know if there are people who haven't seen it at all. First time viewers. When I said I was starting on Twitch, there were friends I didn't even know were gamers, let alone streamers, and suddenly everybody comes out of the woodwork and it's like, oh, I'm doing this and I'm getting game recommendations, and that's great. Yeah, I didn't advertise tonight's stream a lot. Ironically, I advertised the fact that I needed people to go over the YouTube threshold. I didn't do all my going live posts as I normally do. So there's that. Oh, actually though, by the time I come back, I'll have some new gadgets, because I'm gonna have a go at rewiring the mixing desk as well, and not literally rewiring it inside. That would be insane. I'm not that clever. Well, maybe I am, but I'll probably more likely break it. But I'm gonna just wire things up slightly differently, so I've got a dedicated microphone channel going through to the computer like I had it before. Boring tech stuff, but it means I can put more filters on it. I'm not going to make myself sound like a Dalek. I just mean it'd be nice to have a separate channel just going from the mic, but still controlled on the desk, because I think the key thing about the way I've got it now is it's more like my radio show setup. Everything that you hear, I'm hearing. Maybe at a slightly different volume, because I can turn the volume of the headphones up and down, but in theory everything that's coming through these is also going out the speakers. But that includes, can you hear that? That's just like natural noise in the room. Now, there's plenty of filters on OBS to filter that out, but if I put the filter on this, then it'll start, I'm doing that manually with the faders, but it'll start mucking up the music and the game audio, because it's all, that's the key thing, all of the audio is going through the master fader coming out to you and to me at the same time, but it means that it's going into OBS, and then OBS will filter it all. So I did order a couple of just cheap USB audio interfaces that I was going to try out and possibly review for a future YouTube video, but they haven't arrived yet. So I say before, I had the mic actually going out on a separate channel. Anyway, stuff and stuff. It's probably not that bad. I mean, you can barely hear it. Although I shouldn't have pointed it out. Now I've pointed it out, you can probably hear it more, and it's probably going to be annoying. What else have I done? Oh yeah, bought this thing. So there'll be a review of that at some point as well. Because I love this as well. Going shopping and seeing how suddenly streaming is taking over the everyday world. I mean, you know, streaming's not new, but suddenly everybody wants to be a streamer. But not genuinely. You know, you go into Home Bargains and you got streaming ring lights, but right at the front of the store. This is not hidden away somewhere at the back of the technology section under a shelf for the geeks to have a look at. You know, this is like 2 shelves or 3 shelves full of these things. So I did buy one of those, and I've started using it for piece to camera stuff for YouTube as well. Got a big ring light upstairs, but this is a little one that I can prop on the desk. So tried that out today. I tried it out yesterday as well. Live review. The light's really good. The attachment to put your phone on, rubbish. Absolute rubbish. It literally would not screw in at all, and then just fell out, and now I can't even get the screw thread to bite. So I had this long debate, and I was like, well, do I take it back? In reality, yeah, if something's broken, you should take it back and get your money back. But I thought to myself, I don't like the idea that it's just going to be sort of thrown away or something, when the light's probably perfectly good. And then I'm like, well, why did you buy it? Did you buy it for the screw thread or the light? Well, that's a bit of a moot point. You need the screw thread. But then I thought, well, I've got this little phone tripod. I can just put that little phone tripod behind it, and okay, right, it won't be able to mount in any direction and still have the phone attached. But actually, would I trust the phone? That's the point. If I took it back to the shop and got another one, that other one would also have an inferior screw thread, and would I trust my phone on that? No. Would it probably break again? Yeah. So I've just wasted a perfectly good light on the basis of a perfectly rubbish screw thread, which is fine. The screw thread on the bottom for the actual tripod base that it stands on, that's fine. It's the bit that you attach the phone mount to. So it comes with like a little, it's like this, but with a gooseneck instead of the tripod legs. And it wouldn't screw on. I could get it to bite occasionally, but then when I left go, it just literally, your phone would get smashed. So yeah, but actually I realised I could put the webcam on it and clamp the webcam, so I don't need the screw thread anyway. It's only a little ring light for the desk. So yeah, I think it was about £9 for a ring light. That's ridiculously cheap. The screw thread to mount the phone to, wouldn't trust it. It's rubbish. But the tripod it comes with is pretty good. And I've decided to keep it, unless obviously if the light breaks, then I'll take it back. But yeah, I just hate, we're in a throwaway culture. I could probably blue tack something. If I wanted to. It would definitely invalidate the guarantee, I think. But I could glue the mount to it. I don't need the screw thread. I could just glue it on if I really needed to. But yeah, I don't think having hot glue mess around it would fly if I took it back to the shop. Just like, oh, what's this? Thorpin's saying I love the videos on tech alternatives. So cheers for that. I'm hoping to make a couple more. In fact, I say I'm going to be doing I am doing assignments now after I finish here, after this brief just chatting. But I do have another quick video that I threw together because it was just in my head. It was taking up brain space. It needed to come out. So I had to go at doing that earlier. It's not necessarily going to be the best quality video, but it's just a follow-on video from the one I did on the webcam. So long story short, oh, this is something I realised as well as I was doing it. I'm breaking everything. To reach for this box. Get back on there. Spoiling the illusion. Yeah, I had everything set up exactly as I wanted it. I had the new ring light, I had the webcam in the centre of it, and I thought, oh, this is great for piece of camera stuff. And then I realised the webcam box is green. Guess what? I've got a green screen, as if I haven't spoilt the illusion enough by things falling over and my hand going out of the frame every stream. Yeah, so I went to say, and it comes in that, and I went, that's not going to work. This is meant to be a quick video. So I didn't want to have to film an extra bit with the boxes on the table. And so I think what I'll do is I'll just take pictures. And you know, because I just want to get this video out quick, because it's not meant to be a masterpiece, it's meant to be a cautionary tale. Because the first camera, the one I'm using now, is this one. Well, if I'm using it now, it's not in here clearly. But all I wanted to do is find a second one the same as it, right? And I got this. So here's a sneak preview of the video. This is it in a nutshell. You might not even need to watch the video now. So this is terrible marketing. But yeah. I got one of these. I thought, ooh, new box. Yeah, but it was not such a good camera, unfortunately. Not a terrible one. But yeah, when I got this original one, it was during the peak of all the price hikes, and Logitech C920s that should have been around £70 or £80 were actually being... well, it should have been about 60, I suppose, actually thinking about it. Were being inflated to at least 80, if not £120, £130. Creating a real barrier to even getting into streaming. So I thought, well, I'll have a look for an eBay webcam or something. But you know, they used to be cheap, but then price hikes everywhere. Even the cheap ones were like 40, 50 quid. So I found this one 20 quid, and I assumed that it was 20 quid because of the price hikes going on. And then about a month ago, I saw them online. I thought, oh wow, I found them for as cheap as £8. Thought this is pretty incredible. So I ordered two of them, but then they weren't the same. They were cheaper ones. So I've got two of these, and then I thought, right, I know what my mistake is. These ones haven't got a red light on them. I need to buy the ones with a red light on them. That is not the way to buy technology necessarily, just because it's got a red light on it. I even emailed an eBay seller and asked them, is yours in a plain brown box? Because I want one like this one, the one I've already got. They never replied. So I went to another seller and I thought, right, I spent a couple more quid on one with a red light on it. It arrived. It was a third one of these that I paid £2 more for. Typical. So I've now got three of these, which aren't the same. As I say, if it was your only webcam and you only needed it for meetings, they're not terrible. To be fair to them, I feel bad, you know, just writing them off as rubbish. They're not complete rubbish, but... they're not this one. They're not as good as this one. Nowadays, says Phil and Evo, nowadays a viable alternative is a cheap used phone. Most cameras on phones actually do better than a lot of cams out there. I totally agree. And welcome to the stream as well, by the way. Yeah, my phone would have done a better job of the video actually that the video I've just put together. I used the webcam for it just because I wanted to do the video quickly, and I also thought to myself, well, if I'm talking about the webcam and I'm bigging up this webcam, I should probably use the webcam. But yeah, there are better webcams, there are better phone cameras, almost certainly. I've got one. The only problem I found with using the webcam is that I was using an app called IP Webcam, and it was just drifting. The audio was the audio sync was drifting. So you can in OBS Studio that I'm using now to broadcast, you can set a fixed time delay. So even if, you know, one of my friends streams and their audio interface, nothing to do with wireless cameras, just for some reason their audio interface is at least 2 seconds out, so you can type in 2000 milliseconds into the delay. It doesn't really matter, it just delays the audio by the same amount of time so that the video has time to catch up. Hello, Radioactive Space. Welcome back. Yeah, so you can set a fixed time delay, but what I was finding is that the IP webcam app only worked over Wi-Fi, and the time delay drifted, so it was driving me mad. Like I was sort of clapping to sync it up. I was changing the delay. I was just going, right, that's perfect. And then as I was watching it, I was going, hang on, it's out of sync again. It's just drifting all over the place. So that's probably because I'm using it on the Wi-Fi. Of course, the solution would be to plug the phone in, use it via USB. Droidcam lets you do that, but you have to pay for the full version. And it's not so much that it's not worth it. It's just that I'd prefer to have a webcam, because the webcam's always going to be a webcam. Whereas, what if I forget to charge my phone, then I'm midstream and my only webcam's about to run out of battery and I have to go and do... Yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world, first world problems, but the webcam's plugged in. It's either going to work or it's not, or it's going to not work. And as I've said, I've now got 3 spare ones of these, so even if they're inferior, I'm not going to be stuck for too long. Whereas the phone, if it doesn't connect, or if the app doesn't start, or if the phone needs a restart, or if it spontaneously decides it needs updates when I'm not looking at it. I know there's Epoch Cam that people are talking about now, and that's that's meant to be a really good app, which could be a lot more stable. Is that only Apple though? I think that's only iPhone possibly. And having Elgato brought out a new dedicated app where the sync on that actually is meant to be really good, to be fair. So I think you have to pay per month for that. But again, yeah, there are definitely options. So if you want a higher quality or decent quality, it's on your phone. Or you can even stream straight from your phone. So there's no, and you can put the overlays on in OBS somehow. You'll have to speak to somebody else about how to do that. But there are definitely ways and means of streaming entirely from your phone if you want to. Obviously, then you're just doing chatting. Then, if you're doing console, that's trickier. Although there are also ways using the Streamlabs app where you can screen capture off your phone as well. So that sounds like fun. I'm going to try that one day. So if you've got an app that is a game that's an Android game, then I don't know if it works on iPhone, but certainly works on Android. Anyway, yeah. Long story short, I managed to find another one, but it was harder than I thought to find an exact match. So I think what happened was pure luck. This random unbranded one of eBay happened to be the one that would then become this Wansview, I think. Wansview. But this at least gives me a fixed point now, so I can say to people, yes, this camera's really good, get this one. It's 22 quid. Will it compete with the Logitech C920? No. As my YouTube video shows, if you play it in full HD, you can see that I mean, the resolution's fine. The coloration's not quite there compared to the big players. Phil and Evo saying that's why I'd use a cheap used phone, so I'd have it constantly on charge left at the PC. It might destroy the battery, but if you're basically using it as a glorified webcam, then it doesn't really matter. Yeah, exactly. I mean, people upgrade their phones so often that this wouldn't have been the case, say, 10 years ago, but now I've got a drawer full of old phones. They're not quite good enough to be webcams, even those. But yeah, I've got at least 2 phones in the house that would work as suitable webcams, to be honest. So yeah, there are not as many barriers as people think. I think all I was trying to show by getting these cheap ones, finding a cheap one that actually works, and works reasonably well. And it's the one I'm using now. This is a £20 webcam. Can you tell? Yeah, probably. Actually, no. Thinking about it, because my internet's all over the place at the moment, and I'm sorry about that if you've just tuned in and you're wondering why I'm running at half a frame a second. It's just not come right. So it's a good job. It's a good job it's not a game stream at the moment. You wouldn't be able to watch it. Just chatting was a perfect choice, luckily, somehow. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to maybe have to reset the router. I don't know. Maybe the internet's just funny for everybody at the moment. I know a lot of streamer friends, different parts of the country, so I don't quite understand why it would affect me, but they've had problems at the beginning of this week, so maybe they're just doing a mass upgrade. It does happen from time to time, and even though you're in a completely different part of the country, the main servers are at company headquarters somewhere. Like when my ISP had problems in London, everything went off, even though it's in London, because it was the main hub, it was the main servers. So yeah, I don't think I've had a single green. There's an indicator in OBS Studio, and green is good. Yeah, low FPS and only 480px. Well, the 480 is more to do with the compromise I have to make because I'm only on standard broadband. So actually, when I say, could you tell the difference? But that's a good point. I should have made that point even more forcefully. If you're on standard ADSL broadband like me, then this is enough. You could even argue a budget phone, a budget old phone, is actually overkill. It's actually more than you'd need and more than you'd notice, because this whole stream has to be at 480p because I think I started off streaming 720p. That was okay for just chatting because I'm the only thing that's moving. So the rest of the okay, I know this writing's moving and stuff, but there's not very much moving, so 720p was actually okay. But for gaming, it may as well have got you watching the game through a kaleidoscope. It was it's just like you didn't just get confetti with the notifications. You got confetti whenever I was moving around any game. If I stood still, it's like it would come back into perfect clarity, perfect focus, and you go, "Ooh, that's what he's playing." And then the minute I moved, just a disaster. So I reasoned, and also through watching some tutorial videos for other people who are on slow broadband. Oh, I got annoyed actually. Blopin saying my internet has been poor, and I'm a fellow Welshman. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know it hasn't been very good for you, is it? A couple of people have said the same thing as well. It's just at the moment, just cause it's because everybody's on at the same time, isn't it? And yeah, the internet as a global thing will slow down if more people are on it, but you probably barely notice that. It's more that the internet locally has more people sharing the same connection at once than would ever normally happen before. So, and you don't get any let up, I guess. You could leave your computer downloading over what would traditionally be work time when everybody was at work or school or something, and then the internet would be fine. But of course there is no such thing now. Everybody's working from home or studying from home as I am, or if not working, then just on the internet because we're all looking for stuff to do. So I don't think there's any sort of off-peak time anymore, really. And people who are shift working will come back and use the internet the minute they finish their shift. So they were always rolling around at different times of the clock. So yeah, I don't know what's up today. It's not stabilised at all. But yeah, again at 480p, which is just under half the height anyway, because it's a quarter the resolution of full HD. This is a full HD webcam, but even I talked about the colour. The sort of colour's got a bit of patchiness. It might be to do with lighting as well, but I think it's just in general webcams are not great at colour. Oh, people have started using commands. Internet is life, says Phil and Evo. Yeah. Welcome, Lee. Am I saying this the right way around? Is it Kim or Lee? I think I split the name wrong there. Now that I've read it properly. Let me know if it's Lee or Kim. Lee Skim 2005. Is uptime a command? Oi oi Savaloy, says Roop. Hello. I have set up some commands, but I don't know if I've set up the uptime command. I'll try it as a moderator myself to see if it works. Oh, okay. It does work, but it just tells you how long I've been streaming, which you can also see in the bottom right-hand corner of the stream if you scroll down. So, yeah. Or zoom out and scroll down. So uptime without a space might work, but I don't know if I've enabled that for people who aren't mods. So, when I come back on the 1st of December, put that in your diaries. So this is going to be the last stream. Sorry if you've just joined. You've just joined to hear me say, last stream. No, I'm not giving up streaming. I will be back. But I'm gonna do a good hour on this assignment because I've realised, I had a good word with myself and said, well, it shouldn't just be because the assignment's due the next day that I cancel the stream. I've got 3 active, and then from tomorrow there'll be a 4th assignment, all on the go, all at the same time. Now there'll be plenty of time to finish them all if I don't go, oh well, I've got next weekend. No. That's going to result in me completely wrecking myself in a couple of weekends' time. Because actually I got some, I'm going to end up being a bit busy on Saturday at least anyway. So I'm going to have a complete break for at least part of this weekend. Hopefully then use that to come back for the next, the following Sunday, the rest of Sunday and Monday to Friday next week, assignments. That's the compromise. I can have a complete break this weekend. Well, complete break this Saturday at least, and best part of Sunday. Just to recharge, and then not take out Tuesday and Thursday next week for streaming. That's just going to be silly. I might pop in for just chatting. I might even try out this rerun thing, so you'll get a chance to see streams you haven't seen before. Although I don't know, I've got a mixed opinion on reruns. So have everybody in the forums I've been looking at. Roop's saying, "Ooh, I like that." He's talking about this. Well, why are my hands all in a bonk then? I like that. Just one hand. Doesn't look janky then. I like that when chat message comes up. Nice. Yeah, I don't remember to do it all the time. But today I managed to, because it's just when it's just chatting, I kind of think to myself, I'll devote myself a bit more to it. And actually, I was inspired by, have you heard of somebody called Curtis Judd? He's on YouTube and he does the odd stream. And for some reason, I was the featured person on stream. It was quite funny. It just happened that I messaged him and he liked the message. So it was basically the Curtis Judd and Jamie Nemeth stream. Because my message was just in the cache somehow. So every time people were asking, "Ooh, that's a nice thing you've got coming up with the messages. How do you do that?" I'd pop up again. I was basically like a guest, an unofficial guest on this stream. So Curtis Judd is somebody who does lots of really good reviews of audio equipment. So I can recommend the videos. This was just like a live podcasty type show, and he was talking about a bit of everything. Found out that his wife's actually a fellow fiddle player like me, so I happened to be going to a fiddle festival, so that was quite cool. So yeah, I can recommend that. Roop saying Big Joe currently editing whilst I watch. Is he editing on stream, or are you watching him edit through Discord or something? But yeah, welcome if you just joined. I know I'm only going to be here for a short time. I said it was only going to be half hour. I've managed 53 minutes. So we will find... I will handpick somebody to raid who will not be running at the glorious 0.5 frames a second that I seem to be currently managing. I don't know why. I'm sorry. I haven't changed the settings. It's just my internet's being pants for no apparent reason. So, sorry about that. There's not a huge amount I can do about it. My upload speed is limited by it being standard broadband at the best of times. So if it's not at its optimum level, then... yeah. I tried dropping it to like 400 kilobits. Well, I'll try that again, but... I don't think it's that. I think the internet is just struggling, or maybe I connected to the wrong server. But if I disconnect now, well, that's no good either, because if I disconnect now, then I sort of leave you high and dry. I've tried changing a couple of the other settings as well. Maybe I shouldn't have been on that. I don't know. Maybe I should have been on main. Just go back to there anyway. Yeah, it's just been red all stream. Lola, hello, welcome along. Sorry, it's a rubbish stream, and I'm not just saying that to be self-deprecating. I'm saying that the internet's just no go at the moment. I don't know if you're finding the same thing. Just a quick pop in before bed. How are you doing? Well, apart from the shocking internet quality, fantastic. It's never been this bad for this long before. I'm not playing a game. I'm not downloading anything. It's just rubbish. But I'm going to take a little bit of a stream holiday till December the 1st, so please put that in your diaries. I'm not joking about that. I will be back December the 1st with a bang. Maybe with a bang. I've deleted them now, have I? I was going to set off the confetti cannons again, but I can't because I deleted those to stop myself accidentally setting them off, funnily enough. So yeah, and I'm glad you're well. Yeah, I hope you're well too. And yeah, how's life been going? Stream life and non-stream life. How have they both been going? Because actually, show off my command prowess, which I don't have because I'm often misspelling names here. Go and check out fellow Welsh streamer Lola. Really, really good. Really good stream to watch. And yeah, Lola's been saying, I never get a chance to tune in. The one chance you get to tune in, it's me just chatting and at half a frame a second. Roop saying, no Big Joe in the edit studio and I'm watching the glorious Nemeth. Ooh. I wish I was glorious. Glorious Technicolor, maybe. Lola saying, yeah, all been good, thank you, can't complain, all things considered. Yeah, as I say, anything I'm moaning about, I said this at the start of the stream as well, if you catch me moaning about technology, it's, I'm not, don't let that put you off. I'm not moaning about the chat, I'm moaning about technology. But yeah, I was very tempted to do Best Driver Simulator, but I think I will do that for my comeback stream on December the 1st, 9:30 PM GMT. Might even put the Christmas tree up. I normally, in our house, it's a golden rule. The Christmas tree doesn't go up until Christmas Eve. Always been the rule. However, at work, it's allowable from December the 1st. I'm not sure about before that. Our street have already got the Christmas decorations out and snowflake projectors and everything. It's like, it's not even halfway well, it's just about halfway through November. But then again, people are saying, because of lockdown and everything, can we let people have this year? It's like, yeah, okay, to be fair. I won't stand in your way. We all need to cheer up, so I'll admit I'm being my own hypocrite. I'm seeing decorations up. And I'm seeing decorations in shops, and it's like, actually, I'm starting to feel a bit Christmassy myself. It's like I'm having to it's evolved. We had the penguins with the scarves, and now we've got penguins with earmuffs on. I want a penguin with an earmuff. I've got to have a penguin with an earmuff. Roop saying, now is that a green screen tree or a real one? Aha, right. Or maybe it'll be a photo of a real tree superimposed on the green screen. There you go. You never know. I was going to see if I could work out how to actually have animated lights going across the background, because again, that's what's great and what's not so great about mixed reality, is that it's not mixed so well that there's anything to actually hang stuff on here. And if I did, and it's colourful, I mean, look what happens with this box, which has got green on it. So anything that affects the colour of the green screen background, like lights, like real lights would, that's gonna just look really weird. So if I can replicate the effect at all, actually, being a physicist. So here's the light on my torch. You can see it's already doing weird things. That's actually not so bad. Try to prove a point, ends up disproving it. So I don't know, maybe real lights would work. Stop my phone wasting the torch and the battery. Maybe real lights would work. Maybe I can hang real lights across the top here. But then also the problem is that this wall is meant to be about 3 meters back, and the screen is about here. Yeah, so that could be the other problem as well. If I hang lights, they're going to look like I'm a tiny person in a giant world, which could look funny, but you can have these giant light bulbs for fairy lights. Lola saying Christmas Eve? No way, mine always goes up the first weekend of December. Well, first weekend of December I think is okay. It's always been a family tradition to have it on Christmas Eve, but no, I think first weekend of December is okay. Again, we've got to give allowances. We've got to give allowances for people because it's been a rubbish year, let's be honest. Blopin saying I have about 100 trees on my street alone. Sounds like they're going for a phonics song there. Yeah, people have gone a bit mad, haven't they? Well, they went mad with the fireworks. I thought they wouldn't have any money left for Christmas decorations. Roop saying, I'm still amazed with the green screen chair. Oh, yeah. Oh, finally, talking about green. Right, we needed you to say the word green, obviously. Lola saying, time to sleep. Hopefully catch you on the 1st of December. Good night. Oh, cheers for tuning in. I'm glad you made it. I'm sorry it wasn't more of a stream tonight. But yeah, 1st of December is going to be my... Right, I've had 1.5 weeks away from streaming. We're going to make this a good one, right? So it's not going to be a half-hearted return. It's going to be a big one. At least compared to this one, which is... Yeah. But no, I'd love to have a real gaming chair. There was one in a charity shop locally, actually, and I very nearly bought it, but I was just like, yeah, but where would I put it? The whole point of having this deck chair that I've actually got, because, yeah, as I famously revealed and scrambled Blopin's brain, there it is, there it isn't, there it is, there it isn't, there it is. But also, I thought, well, yeah, I've given away a trade secret, mate. Well, it's not a trade secret. I've given away a secret, but also... The whole point of this stream, the whole point of the cheap webcams, the whole point of doing this as cheaply as possible is to kind of show how it can be done. So if I don't tell you the secrets, like the chair that isn't there, I'm a poet and I didn't know it, then you know, what I'm showing you is you can do the same thing. You can make it look like you've got a big expensive chair. I've even looked into the OBS effects to try and put a shadow so that, I mean, it looks pretty convincing, to be fair. I've done a double take myself and thought that I'm actually sat on it. And I've even sometimes adjusted my position to sit against the back properly, even though the back I'm sitting against isn't really there. But I've even looked at, like, maybe I can put a shadow. Oh, it's gone back to red again. The internet was green briefly. Roop, we need you to say green again. The internet went stable when you said that. Should I get a mini tree for the room? Yeah, why not? Why not? Go for it. Oh, Lola's fallen asleep. Look, clearly tired, can't type. Oh. Catch you on the... It's alright, I read it as it was intended, it's fine. I've tried. I've got the tablet stand that I bought for putting my. Oh yeah, that's a sob story. There we are. This isn't just chatting. This is sob story hour. Because I thought, right, again, on this whole mission of doing things as cheaply as possible, I'd love to get a Stream Deck. Maybe one day I will. The advantage of a Stream Deck is it's always dedicated. So actually we've come back to what Phil and Evo was saying in a long roundabout way. I got a little tablet clamp And I thought, this is fantastic. This Kobo Arc of mine has been sat around doing nothing since I upgraded to a newer tablet. Wouldn't it be a fantastic thing then to dig this out of retirement? I'll put it on a stand here, and it can be my Stream Deck with a free app. And then I went to boot it, and it just won't boot. You don't think this will happen with anything Android? You just expect it will just sit there forever, and you turn it back on, it'll be fine. Not so with the Kobo Arc, it turns out, which is why you can see. I mean, I'm no electronics expert, but I thought, right, the power socket's gone again, so I ordered some power sockets on eBay. It's this flimsy connector here, which really is shocking. I mean, I don't know if you can see it there. So that's where the USB goes in. There's a ribbon cable. So in terms of replaceability, it's fantastic, because when it breaks, you can just swap it out and put another one, which you can't do with a lot of USB connectors, because they're just soldered straight onto the board. But the actual connector itself is terrible. More than a few plug and unplugs of the USB lead, and it comes the solder comes away from the connector, and you have to replace it. Now it's only £4, but of course then that's part of the reason I stopped using it, because I thought, well, £4 every couple of months. So it just kind of sat there, and it's a shame. But I thought, well, actually, as a Stream Deck, it'll be semi-permanently on the desk on my new tablet stand that I bought, and it looked great. And I thought, oh, this is it. And I was sort of pretending to tap away at it. I was like, yeah, this'll work well. And as I say, went to boot it up, nothing. Well, I'm sorry, not nothing. It's not that it won't turn on. It'll turn on, get to the splash screen, and then just goes round and round and round and round, says Android is upgrading, and then restarts. And I've looked everywhere. I've tried everything. I've tried the factory reset. I've tried clearing the cache. I've tried going into debug mode and all this stuff. And you go through all the points, and it then says if you've tried all of these things and none of them have worked, then you have to maybe contact the company. And I could, but the company have been since taken over. Kobo's been taken over by Rakuten. And this is a model that's like 10 years old and no longer maintained, so I don't think they're going to... I think it's well outside its guarantee period. So I ended up going searching on eBay and seeing if I could get a broken one, because ironically, and this is the thing, right, it was hard enough finding a second webcam identical to my first one to go with the first one. You'd be surprised how difficult it is to actually find something broken on eBay. I'm deliberately going online to find a broken Kobo Arc, and they're very rare. I thought they'd be to a penny, but they're very rare. So that's because I thought the ideal situation would be, right, I've got this one, which despite I've taken the back cover off, but there's nothing physically wrong. It's easy enough for me to put it back together. The battery is great. The screen works perfectly. Everything on this works perfectly apart from the actual motherboard. And under this metal bit here is where the storage is. And apparently they said the storage in the earliest models of tablet and phone, the flash storage was like again an inferior version. So it wears out quicker, and so that's what might have happened. You wouldn't think it just sitting there doing nothing would be a problem, but something's gone catastrophically wrong with the motherboard. So I thought the ideal for me would be a Kobo Arc that was otherwise working, but the screen's been smashed on it. Couldn't really find one. I found like a working one, but I don't want another working one. That'll just remind me of the one I've got that's broken. And okay, yeah, I could use it, but then I've got an old tablet. It's not really recycling anymore. I've deliberately gone out and bought an old working tablet that may then not work. A replacement part for this Kobo might wear out as well, but there's more of a chance if I treat it well, and I'm only using it as a Stream Deck, effectively, or a free Stream Deck with a free non-Stream Deck, Stream Deck-like app. Then there's a chance it'll last for a good while, and it'll be recycling, and I'll be taking a dead Kobo Arc, taking the motherboard out, and making one good Kobo Arc. That makes sense. But buying a new working one that costs more, well, I may as well just buy a new tablet then. Well, okay, it'll be cheap, but I may as well buy a different make of cheap tablet on Facebook Marketplace or something. That would work. as with this, bloke been saying confetti cannon would be very useful for sleepy people. Yeah, I bet. But I'd lose fans very quickly. Dear. Oh, there was a TV advert on earlier. I won't describe it too in detail, but why in the middle of food time? I was just like, okay, I know there's no broadcasting rule against icky stuff at food time, but surely you should think from a brand point of view. If you put us off our food at dinner time, evening meal time, that's not going to make us want to buy your product. Who thought that was a good idea? It was meant to be like a sort of family. It wasn't, I don't think it was intended to be disgusting. It was just, well, actually, yeah, it was in places. It was like, it's just like, oh, we're there to help with your mess, and it's like, yeah, but when we're having food, it's like, I know these are realities of life for people. Yes, babies being sick on your shoulder and stuff, but. And then it was like, okay, that you could accept. Well, that's the reality of life. That happens, fine. But then, yeah, I said I wouldn't explain it. And then, yeah, like other silly stuff going on. It's like, why do we need to see this at food time? Please. Bad enough if it's happening in front of you. The TV's the escape from it. Anyway. So this half hour has turned into an hour and 10 minutes. Let's find somebody to raid. But yeah, cheers for joining me tonight. I know it's been a weird one. It's also been an unstable one. In fact, that's what the window is coming up and saying. Unstable. That's a comment on me. Roop saying, when are we getting new rewards? Oh, well, maybe I should program that in for my relaunch on December the 1st. Maybe there should be Christmas rewards. Maybe I can find a Christmas tune that's stream safe, that's over 100 years old, that's traditional, that won't get me DMCA'd. For 10,000 points, I'll play it on the violin or something. There we are. We'll put something like that in. I don't know. What rewards do you want? What rewards would you want to see? That's the question. So yeah, any other announcements? Blow been saying I'm waiting on an instant confetti cannon reward. I wonder if I can link that in. I'll have a look for that actually. Shouldn't necessarily is doing research live on stream a faux pas, I don't know. Twitch link reward to alert. There must be a way of doing it. I mean, I know there's soundboard alerts. Well, there's someone here saying how to set up Twitch reward alerts. So it's obviously doable. Because what would be cool is if it got taken out of my hands completely, so I don't have to do the whole ooh, someone's redeemed a reward. Let's wait for a minute, and while I completely do this by surprise. No, it'd be quite cool if it's a surprise to me too. Just randomly fires off, or like you have to do it not too often. Maybe make that about 10,000 points as well, so it doesn't happen all the time. Yeah, could do that. Roop saying, can you be DMCA'd for a live instrument? Well, somebody tweeted the other day and said you can't DMCA me for playing the recorder. It's like, technically, I don't know. But also technically, because I heard somebody else in the stream earlier saying, oh, I'm just singing it, so you can't DMCA me. I think the DMCA, does apply to the actual tracks. However, you could certainly get PRS and stuff. So think it's a bit dangerous. Some people are just playing tunes that are generic tunes instead of the tunes they would be playing. That's fine to a point if that tune is royalty free or out of copyright or whatever. But there's still PRS and PPL and stuff that would definitely apply. So if I, for example, did a cover of a well-known pop song on the violin, that might not be a DMCA thing, but it would be a PRS thing because I'm performing someone else's song. So I don't know is the honest answer. People have been saying, soon you could clap and be DMCA'd. Yeah, I know it's all a bit cumbersome. Tom Scott's done a brilliant video on YouTube about the situation with copyright, and he's just been very honest all the way through and explained it really well, as he always does. Just said, this doesn't mean it's right. This is his recurring theme as he goes through the video. It says about 3 times. This doesn't mean it's right, but it's the way it is. Copyright is a mess. I'm not saying anything new here. I'm not saying anything that will get me into trouble. Everyone knows copyright is a mess. I've been reading stories about people who were playing, was it Rock Band? And obviously playing Rock Band on stream. If you were playing the actual tracks on stream, that would be DMCA-able because you're playing the tracks on stream. This has nothing to do with that. This is that if people... So it got to the point where if people bought Rock Band and then they bought Rock Band 2, a bit like Guitar Hero basically, so it bought Rock Band and then they bought Rock Band 2, then they wanted to be able to play... I've messed this up as an explanation. Right, Rock Band had songs in with it when you bought it. And then you could buy extra packs of songs to expand on it, right? That's better. Then when people bought Rock Band 2, they understandably said, can we use the songs we bought for Rock Band 1 in Rock Band 2? And the answer was no, because they didn't have the rights in Rock Band 2 to use the songs that they'd sold for Rock Band 1. Even though the person had purchased them as a separate package of songs, the game Rock Band 2 didn't have permission to play those songs. So yeah, it's a mess. The whole thing's a mess. There's nothing wrong in the desire to keep, to keep people from just copying your stuff wholesale. That's understandable, but yeah, the reality is complicated. Roop saying, so you think, what's that? So you think DJ Ent, is that a DJ name? I have to explain that one to me a second. Going to be copyrighted for the Guitar Hero guy we know. Oh, well, yeah. I'd never unfollow a stream because of it, or I'd never tell anyone really. It's not like that, but technically the risk anybody who plays any music. There's a couple of streamers I follow, they're really good streamers, but every time they play copyrighted tracks I'm like, oh, there might come a time where you're not on Twitch anymore. It's just risky. I mean, I've even had a muted track. I haven't had a DMCA email, thank goodness, but in principle I could, because even though I'm playing stream beats in the background, and I was worried when I tweeted about it. I just tweeted it because my tweet is meant to be my personal experiences, right? So my personal experience on stream is that I had a muted VOD. Part of my VOD was muted for playing a track. I've only ever played stream beats. The music you're hearing in the background now is stream beats. Stream beats is advertised by RSL as being safe for everyone to use. So I didn't want it to seem like I was going, wow, not trusting you again. No, I trust Harris. Harris has got a huge team behind him for a start. So if anything goes wrong in terms of playing any of these tracks, he's put things in place to safeguard you. He's put on his Discord a license that you can download, so if anybody ever questions you on any YouTube uploads you've used them in, or Twitter posts or Facebook posts or Twitch or anything else that you may have used the tracks in, you can say, here's my license. He's given it to everybody. Here is my license to show that I am allowed to use this track. So I'm not knocking Harris Heller at all. However, the reason I posted it was because of how scary the DMCA stuff is getting. That I played a track that was absolutely definitely not a track I wasn't allowed to play. And it got misidentified as some Russian band's track. So which may mean it's okay. It might have got past the DMCA because that tends to be an American thing. But how do I know that this Russian band haven't got a hotshot American record company behind them? At what point, it's unlikely to happen. But in theory, I could get a DMCA. In theory, I could have to take it upon myself to prove that the track was the track I said it was. And I think it's pretty obvious because apart from maybe the instrument on a couple of notes in the chorus sounding like the same instrument, they're not similar at all. But the fact remains that I've got a muted VOD. The fact remains that it could have turned into a copyright strike. And the fact remains that I might have ended up being banned from Twitch before I got a chance to clear my name. In theory. Unlikely, but in theory. And I have seen Twitter posts from people who've had their accounts taken down. They've come back, but only after a bit of a fight. So that's happened, or that has the potential to happen for people who've been squeaky clean. So I think the worry I've got is for anybody actually playing songs that are most definitely songs on stream, even if they're cover versions of those songs. I don't think they are. I think they're the original tracks in games like Guitar Hero. But even if it was a cover of a track, there's still a PRS license, but I don't know if PRS have really gone after Twitch. But then, if DMCA can, I shouldn't say DMCA is, it's not DMCA is some ethereal body, it's people launching DMCA strikes, then maybe, I don't know, maybe the PRS, what are they called? PRS Association? I can't remember. At some point they might decide, well, if they're doing it, we should probably do it, because to be fair, there's a side to it which you could argue is money making, but there's a side to it that's we've got to protect the rights of our artists. That's what it's supposed to be about anyway. So yeah, risky. Blow up in saying I say just copyright specific notes. Yeah, those notes. You're not allowed to play an A sharp. You're not even allowed to mention A sharp. Whoop. DMCA'd. It'll have to be B flat. We can talk about B flat, not the other one. No, it's getting silly. I mean, I said this years ago. It's Sam Smith's "Stay With Me" and Tom Petty's song. What's that one called now? Don't Back Down, is it? They solved it amicably by just sharing the writing credits and some of the money, but I was like, yeah, but it only sounds similar if you slow one down and pitch shift it by about 6 notes, and then it only overlaps for about 7 notes. It's like, pretty much any song is similar to another song somewhere if you do that. Yeah, sure, some songs are rip-offs, some songs have ripped a sample without crediting, that's wrong. But some songs that just happen to have a couple of notes that are similar. There's songs that I think sound more similar that no one's flagged up, and I'm there kind of going, how can you not hear that this is this song? No. Anyway, I don't know, maybe I'm beginning to think this is deliberate now, but every time I say, right, let's go and find somebody to raid, you get the conversation going again. So I'm not complaining. Maybe I am. I'm not complaining really, but I really should find somebody to raid now. So I can, because if I'm going to give a good hour to this assignment, then that's going to take me till midnight. So yeah, cheers for joining me. Oh, and the internet was great then. The internet was green. And now it's dropped back down again. What is wrong? Seriously, what is wrong with it tonight? It's a shocker. It's been a shocker tonight. So thank you for sticking with it and bearing with me, and I'll take on board all the suggestions, and we'll do some cool stuff when we get back on the 1st of December. Actually, I've talked about somebody being an inspiration because they are a huge success on YouTube. They've helped a lot with the videos that they've put up, tutorial videos. They don't necessarily need my raid because they've got 52 people watching. But I think you might enjoy their stream. And they're doing a just chat at the moment. Bloke been saying, 90% of pop is sampled now anyway. Yeah, exactly. I mean, what was it? What's his name's new song? But I saw them performing it and they were all excited about it being the brand new song by... I always get Sigma and Sigala mixed up. But I didn't realise, apparently it's a theme, that whether it's Sigma or Sigala, apologies to the one that it isn't, who I'm offending by mixing them up, they're very proud of sampling old songs. And it's like, well, okay, at least you're being honest and saying that's what you're doing, and you're not fibbing about it, but it's just like, but why can we not create any original music? It's like people remaking films all the time. Like, why can we not make an original film? Why is this? Why do we have to reinvent stuff? Oh, we're not really reinventing. Why do we have to redo stuff that we've already done? Can we not come up with an original idea? Let's see what Guy Level's up to anyway. I just realised the confetti cannon went off earlier, and I had the button switched off. So you saw the confetti cannon, but you didn't hear it on stream anyway. I heard it through my headphones. New song out. They're using MGMT riff. Says Roop. Yeah, no, I think that's the song. That's the song I was talking about. Oh. Okay. Guy Level's just rated somebody else. SNPR Serenity. Well, shall we go there anyway? Just give somebody random a follow tonight. Blopin saying, I'm still hurt by Madonna sampling ABBA. Yeah. Wasn't there was that Christina Aguilera with the Lonely Goated one as well? It was bonkers. So sometimes you just wonder what goes through people's minds when they sample stuff. It's like, why do they need to borrow that? Especially somebody like Madonna. Madonna doesn't need it for the fame, does she? You know, you can sort of half understand it if you've got people who aren't very famous who want that one big hit and then they springboard off that. I get it. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I get it. So who's SNPR Serenity then? They look fun. They're playing Marvel Spider-Man. So I think, because what always happens with raids as well, with big raids I should say, small raids tend to stick around, but when you have a big raid you see people coming in and then lots of people leave, and that's fine because it's just like people are tired, and I'm not blaming anybody for that. There's nothing the stream has done. But if we join their stream now, we'll join just in time to sort of pick up from the raid attrition. So somebody I've not followed before. They do video editing and play Apex, Overwatch. But tonight they're doing Spider-Man. And I'm still here. I always say this. It's obviously meant to be if I'm hovering over something for a while. So let's go for it. As I say, I will be back 1st of December, Tuesday the 1st of December, 9:30 p.m. I've not watched this person before, so I'm going to get to watch a little bit. If you've just joined me, I'm going to be back 1st of December. And I'm going to watch SNPR Serenity. Well, I'm going to make a cuppa, and then I'm going to watch SNPR Serenity while I do a good hour of coding on my assignment, and that is verification from Blowpin. So love the... Oh, I've lost my chat thing. Where's it gone? love the Spider-Man. Fair enough. We'll do it then. It's meant to be. It's obviously meant to be. So yeah, sorry about the shoddy quality tonight. Hopefully the stream will in technical quality be a lot better as well. So for now.